And welcome to the Bandit Room. My name is Charles. I'm joined in the studio here today by Aggie and Caleb. And we have a special guest today, Mr. Chuck Hall. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are things?
Very well.
Yeah? So, for our listeners, Chuck Hall is, what's your title? Owner of the Hall Company?
Yeah.
Owner of the Hall
right.
Company?
Did you say call company or hall company?
I think you
Is
did.
it like some kind of a calling service?
It's a
Call the hall.
So he runs the Call Hall Company? Better Call Hall. Better Call Hall Company.
That's actually that's a good idea.
We're going to run some marketing
Rework
strategies
my
for you.
business cards.
Better Call Hall.
Might get the wrong kind of clients there, but you know.
Chuck, are you originally from Rock Hill?
I am.
So it's very rare nowadays over here to find a original Rock
A
Hillian.
true Rock Hillian.
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about growing up in Rock Hill, because almost everybody here is not from here,
Not originally.
or not originally from here. Even though I've lived here for 16 years, I'm still considered an outsider.
Well, I can tell you that it's a lot different now than it was growing up. All the roads are 4 lanes and schools are overflowing, and we didn't have those things to enjoy when I was growing up. But I'd say probably the biggest thing is just the landscape, the real estate, how things have changed. This facility, that beautiful facility we're in right now, wasn't here 30 years ago.
Right.
Do you remember this building being a grocery store?
I do. It was a food line.
Gotcha. Yeah, then it was a gym for some time. It was subleased,
Yeah.
and then it was
Yeah.
shut for like few years, and then we took it over. So I know people have talked to me, told me about Celanese Road that used to be like a 2-lane
It was
road.
a 2-lane road, which was horrible
Huh.
from the outset.
But was it as important like a main road that it is today, even then?
It was, which is what made it so horrible.
Gotcha.
But back in the day, Celanese is where you went to die because that was a horrible road. But it's not much better as a 4-lane, but it's
Right.
It's bigger than 4-lane now, right?
Well, it's 4, I guess,
well,
4
it is
plus
till
the
you get to
median,
the-
yeah.
until you get to the
yeah.
well.
So you know about downtown Rock Hill, and they put the roof
Ooh,
on Main Street.
Oh yeah.
Well, I saw your next guest is the Mayor John Geddes, and I'm going to let you fire that across his bow. But
No, our previous landlord was what was his name, Joe?
Joe Lanford.
Joe Lanford.
Yeah.
And he was the city manager.
It
at
was,
the time.
and came back later to be the architect for removing the roof
Right.
and getting it to where
Right.
it is today, which is
Right.
fabulous.
I
Yeah.
think that's a great way to spend taxpayer money.
He made money both ways.
Get it coming in, going.
So tell me about where did you guys all go in Rock Hill to go hang out on a Friday night?
Probably, one of the very few places that is still in business today is the skating rink.
The one
Oh,
here on
Kate's?
Yeah, Kate's up here at the. That's old school.
Yeah.
But of course that was back in the day, and then as we started growing up and getting into high school, well then, that was also back in the day when drinking age was 18. So we would spend some time at a place called Daddy's Money, which is now Burgers and Barley.
Burgers and
Gotcha.
Barley. Yeah.
Daddy's
And it was Daddy's Money. Then it was shortened to just the Money.
It's
And,
funny, it was right across from Winthrop, so
Which
I think
is
what was
what
the
kept
joke
it in
there?
business.
Yeah, but
But
Winthrop
they're
used to be
spending
an
daddy's money.
all-woman college, right?
Yeah, that was way before my time, but yes,
So you didn't take advantage of that situation at all.
that was before my time. So yeah,
We're talking early
That is
1900s at this
low-hanging
point.
No, Charles, they were in the 80s or 90s. They were an all-woman college. Caleb, look it up, Joe.
It was back before then. It was
Saying 1890s,
Winthrop
yeah.
College in the 80s and 90s, and then of course it migrated to the university status. But yeah, no, that would have been low hanging fruit in my time.
So did you go to Rock Hill High or
I went to
Northwestern?
Northwestern High
Northwestern
School.
High School. Okay, right on,
Home of the Trojans.
right on. Now, as any NFL pro player has come out of Northwestern.
A lot.
Okay, anyone big?
We had
Gotcha.
Mason Rudolph.
Oh yeah.
Mason Rudolph's Northwestern
Yeah.
Trojan.
So did you watch Mason Rudolph play in
Yeah.
high school?
Mhm.
You did? Okay. So I've never been that involved in high school football and whatnot, but do you really, now knowing him, he's gone pro, did you or your friends notice him as a great talent when he was in high school?
No.
No? Okay.
But for me, it didn't become obvious until he started winning things like recognition from Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these other. Then you all of a sudden start paying attention to this kid.
Yeah.
But not at the time. No.
Right on.
No.
So did you find out Winthrop?
1974 is when they became fully co-ed.
See, Charles, I was
Okay.
pretty close.
So during your lifetime. But
74, I
If it wasn't your
didn't have a
prime.
line in the water in 74.
Go ahead, Charles.
didn't have a line in the water. Jot these down for.
Yeah.
So Aggie has a joke that you always speak in a certain turn of phrase. So things like the line in the water, or whatever. Like you just pepper them in throughout
Like
the
I'm getting
conversation.
set up here.
No,
Just to react to that.
Yeah.
That was a good start, though.
Yeah.
That was a
We'll
pretty good
see
start.
how high our
So,
score gets today.
Are you the first generation in Rock Hill, or your parents
first
first generation?
generation.
So where's your family originally from then?
We moved to Rock Hill early on. I was going into the 5th grade, so that's why I call myself, original.
Right,
But
right.
we moved from Richmond, Virginia,
Okay.
and I was born in Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you moved around a bit early on.
Not bad, but
Yeah.
we did,
Yeah.
from Tallahassee to Richmond and then to Rock Hill.
So how did you get into this printing business there, Chuck?
My father was in this business.
Okay.
And, it's kind of funny. I graduated Clemson University in '86 with a finance degree, and haven't used it for anything other than balancing my checkbook, which is pretty easy if you've ever seen my checkbook. But he was in the business and didn't have a job coming out of college, and he said, "Well, you're welcome to come on board and see what this is all about. See if this is something that interests you." And
So the Hall Company, that was founded by your father?
he was one of the founders. Yes,
One of the founders?
Mhm.
Okay. How has the work changed as time has gone on and things have changed technologically? So what kind of jobs were you initially
it's
doing?
totally
versus what you're
interesting.
doing?
The things that we do today are nothing like we did 30 years ago.
Right.
Nothing. People don't pay attention to this kind of stuff unless you're in the business. But when's the last time you've seen a dot matrix line printer? That's been a gosh awful long time ago.
I still see them at car dealerships.
That would be about the only place.
Certain places.
And they just screaming, and they sit over there in the corner and do their thing.
Right,
But just
right.
very few and far
Right.
between. With the advent of laser printers, it's so much quieter and faster and more easily legible. And that's where I've seen the biggest evolution is in just the types of documents and forms and things that we provided then versus what they do now. And even now, although it's moved to laser printer, now it's more virtual. I mean, it's a lot of electronic stuff.
Gotcha.
A lot of electronic stuff.
So let's go back probably 6-7 years ago. The paper was going away. Nobody was going to use paper. Seems like everything on paper is coming back. Is that true?
Well, for us, it never really left. It just changed faces.
Mm-hmm.
Again, things that you would usually have to print off on a line printer now are just done on a laser printer.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've seen in my own career is the value added stuff where somebody may be printing checks are a prime example. Back in the day, they were just old continuous feed checks, and they'd have to run them through the dot matrix printer. Then they'd carry them over to another side of the room and run them through a check signer.
Mm.
And then from there, sit down and burst them apart and stuff them into envelopes. Well, we've streamlined all of that. It's down to one piece of paper. It comes straight off a laser printer. It goes in blank check stock, comes out the other side ready to cash.
Right on.
And it's
So who are your typical clients for Hall Company? Like, who do you deal with?
for us, it's city and county governments and K-12 schools.
Okay.
We do some higher ed, but more K-12.
So walk us through, like, what are they getting from you? Like, what kind of business or what is the service you're providing to K-12?
Well, it goes back to probably the biggest thing, the biggest influence we've had in the past 20 years is that advent of the laser check writing.
So you said how long you yourself been in this business now?
Since 1987.
Bro. Mm-hmm. So what are the new things that Chuck, has introduced to this industry?
Probably would be the outsourcing. That's something our industry doesn't change rapidly, but we do. When it changes, you have to be cognizant of what's going on in the marketplace and that kind of thing. And so much now has been replaced, or rather the outsourcing, the ability to take somebody's data and process it for them, so that they don't do anything anymore. It gets that whole operation out of house and into ours, and then we take it from there and run it and process it, because we're seeing customers that are having so much volume that they can't handle it.
Do you recall how we met?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I vividly remember that. Yeah.
I thought you guys met at the church.
No.
Church or a bar? I can't. Some one of those.
Church, bar, or a county office somewhere.
So tell, how did you meet Chuck?
Yeah. We had recently acquired a large industrial printer, and we were considering. We bought it for our own needs, for printing and mailing tax forms securely. But since we had the fancy piece of machinery, we were trying to see if we could look into taking other
You can
jobs.
say the name. There could be a sponsor, Charles.
A Riso? A Riso printer from our friends down at Laser Print. Our friends down at SOS. SOS. Yeah, so we were looking into taking on outside jobs, and so we saw this bid that the county had put together, York County. We thought we'd put something together, price it up, and send it to them. And I believe we together, you and I, were the only local people that even attended the bid opening at the county.
That's true.
And so we went. I think neither of us got it.
And we
Wasn't that the one
we
that
got
was
humiliated.
like, one bid was like solo? We were like, how are they even paying postage?
the winning bid was like a penny or something like
so
that.
how did they do that?
I don't know. To this day, I don't know. I don't know how you're able to keep your lights on doing that. I think, we landed somewhere in the middle, and then I think you guys landed somewhere towards the top.
Yeah, we probably were.
But it was, that was sort of your first dipping your big toe in the water, so you really didn't know what to expect. But that's where I first had an experience with Span. I said, well, who were these people? I didn't know they were in Rock
You're
Hill.
like, there's another player in town?
Yeah.
What's going on? Somebody else getting into the printing game?
It's kind of funny, but I thought, well, I can at least do what I do. They're so far out, they need help.
Right. Well, it wasn't our core business. So we were just trying to see what else we could do.
You were just dipping your toe in the water to see what it was.
Yeah, see if we could expand operations there. But one thing led to another. You kind of explained who you were, and having that sort of local connection really made it feel like it was a benefit for both sides. Once we sort of realized that we were really moving faster than our one industrial printer could handle for the kind of growth that we were getting with our core business. So that's how we ended up meeting you guys and getting involved with the Hall Company. As an interesting situation, that kind of thing comes up from time to time where it's not. We weren't necessarily looking for a printer. It was just, it just kind of happened that we made that relationship and ended up working out pretty well for the last few years.
So how do you know? I guess now they are Doxim. How are you involved, or how long you been working with LPB?
We've been working with them for the last 10 years.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that's one of our main providers.
So do you work with other providers too?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah, we didn't get to know any of that stuff, Charles.
It didn't. It's because it didn't fit.
Ah.
Okay.
It's everybody wears pants, but not necessarily the same size. So
That's right on.
That's two?
No, that's the third one, Charles.
Wait, what was the second one?
You dipped your big toe.
Dipped the toe in the water. Dipped your toe in the water.
Aggie, you're killing me here.
I'm just getting started.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
You out there in podcast land can't see my red face.
Did COVID affect your business at all?
No.
Okay.
Oh well. Let me clarify. It didn't. It just made things harder. A prime example is envelopes. Some of the things and paper. The paper did initially. COVID didn't touch us at all. We were seeing a lot of other industries that were just almost crashing and burning almost instantly. It took a while, but it finally got to us, and when it did, it's and I still have yet to meet somebody smart enough to explain to me why this happens, but paper shortages across the board. Just this morning, we don't have any more of that paper. Can't get any more of that paper. You're going to have to go with something else.
Interesting.
We've never seen that in our industry ever. And prices, well, you don't have to look any farther than the gas pump to see what's happening there. But then, most recently, envelopes. As bizarre as that is, envelopes are just tough. It's hard to get large quantities of envelopes because there's a limited supply of paper. There are allocations going everywhere. I've been in this business for roughly 35 years. I have never been allocated anything, but we are now.
That's wild.
So very, very different times.
The production of paper, do you know if it's mainly national or is that an international process?
I think it's international.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
That would have to be. Okay. Gotcha. Because if we were just making it here and supplying it here, it probably wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. Which
issue.
is,
Well,
that's a sore spot with me, but that's more of a political thing. But
you can talk about whatever you want, Chuck. We don't care.
Well, it's just when you get rid of all of your American manufacturing,
right,
and it goes out, then all of a sudden something like this happens, and you farmed all of your manufacturing out.
That's true. We're kind of reaping the benefits of those seeds that we.
So when did this outsourcing of American manufacturing start? What decade was that? Was that under Reagan?
It's probably NAFTA, right? I mean,
I was thinking that would have been after. I was thinking NAFTA, but even that's North American. That what I'm talking about is globally.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this earlier today. Take for example chips. That there's so many chips that run our day-to-day operations. Just sitting in this room, I shudder to think how many chips are in this room. Where are the vast majority of these chips coming from? Taiwan, which is what? In the smack dab in the middle of national security threats and all this kind of thing. What's going to happen if Chinese make a go of at Taiwan? You're a lot of this, your Apple laptops, your iPads and iPhones, all that's going to stop. We've painted ourselves into a corner, and it's not going to be pretty getting out of it.
Yeah.
So do you think that can make people not waste so much stuff? Like use the laptop for 4 years rather than after 4 months and getting a new one?
They may not have a choice. Yeah, absolutely.
Would that make people save money?
It might.
Would that make people pay off that debt sooner?
As a conservative, I would like to think, but that may just free up more beer money. I don't know.
Right.
That's the psychology. Like people don't pay off the debt. That's the problem.
I know.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
wishful thinking,
but during COVID, I have friends who are in the alcohol industry, restaurant beer industry, and they sold more beer during COVID than they ever have. I mean, people were sitting home. Obviously, they just want to drink. But the other other side of thought on that is like, man, you don't have to drive, whatever. You could have saved the money, pay off some debt. But majority of the people don't look at it like that. So the whole kind of question I was asking, even if I ask myself or anyone else, the answer is yes. The right way to do that would be to pay off your debt, but majority of people don't do it.
Yep.
So
I've got a good friend that owns a beer distributorship here in York County, and that's the one business that is just about bulletproof any way you want to look at it.
Right.
People drink when the times are good. People drink when the times are bad.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right. So what is your choice of drink then, Chuck?
Honestly, I'm a beer man.
Yeah.
Give me a good old Miller Lite, and I'm just a happy clam. Now I'll
Happy as a clam.
I like a Bloody Mary, but you can't drink Bloody Marys all day.
Right.
So since you went to Clemson, I'm assuming you're a big Clemson football fan or anything,
I am.
everything
Yes,
Clemson?
and my daughter's there now.
Okay, right on, right on. So do you go to the games and like tailgate and all that stuff?
We do.
Okay. Is that compared to, because my next door neighbor, he's a Gamecock fan, and he hates everything Clemson. He's been to a couple of tailgating at Clemson, to watch the game, and he was just bitching about it, everything. Are you like that? If you went to a Gamecocks fan, would you be bitching about their parking signs and
No.
no?
No,
You just enjoy
I'm
it?
not. You know, if anything, I try to be a little bit more of an ambassador
Hmm.
for my school than that. Two things that sort of rub my fur the wrong way. One is having somebody that didn't attend the school that is out showing out and barking at, you know, the neighboring team coming in.
Mm.
Yeah, that kind of irritates me. But the other thing is people that are going to sit there and badmouth. How about instead thank them for coming?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
invite them to the tailgate to you know, to have a drink, and, you know, thank you all so much for coming. And to me, it's just as easy to do that
Right.
as it is to make them feel anxious and you know, wish that they had never made this trip and that kind of thing. So it's, you know, but you know, different strokes for different folks.
Right.
I don't,
Right.
some people don't. Some people just don't think that's a big deal. I mean, they need to.
So, did you grow up playing sports when you were in high school or college or anything?
Soccer in
Soccer?
high school. Soccer in high school,
Huh.
and then of course I went to Clemson, so they farmed out all of their athletes, so I couldn't speak the language that they were speaking on the soccer field once I got there. So
That's a
I was
nice,
like,
way,
that's okay.
nice way to put it.
Well, these guys were way out in front of anything I had to offer. So
Gotcha. Are you a Carolina Panthers fan?
no, I when I was a child, I was Washington Redskins.
Okay.
But pro ball has gotten so, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, but it seems to be a platform for everybody to air their dirty laundry, and I just don't have time for it.
Mm-hmm.
I love college ball. A little bit worried about this NIL thing they've instituted, this name, image, and likeness.
Oh, God.
Where they're paying these kids. I'm worried we may have started down a path that's going to lead to a real problem in the future.
Okay.
These kids coming in 18 years old, you know, with X number of millions of dollars, and I can tell you right now, an 18-year-old going off to college with $1 million in my pocket, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. The first thing I would have done would have bought a Porsche, and then the second thing I would have done was probably wrapped it around a pine tree. Yeah, but be that as it may.
So they don't know much about it. Go ahead and explain a little bit more about that, please.
About the
NIL.
The NIL.
Yeah.
So it basically lets people get paid. College students get paid for
The
playing.
athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so before, the universities would, well, you take like a prime example, be somebody like our Heisman Trophy winner, Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could use him to promote Clemson University, and he didn't get one red cent for the use of his name. You know, posters and things that, you know, of him and promoting the Clemson University, which was wonderful, and that's the way it's always been. You know, these are our star players. They're playing for Clemson University. Carolina's no different. You know, every university have their own star players, and but then, you know, I don't know who's to credit. Should receive the credit for this idea or not, but they decided that these kids should be compensated for that. Arguments on both sides of that. They say, well, you know, you're benefiting off of the performance of these kids, and these athletic departments are putting lots and lots of money in the coffers of college sports, and these kids are paid virtually nothing to elevate the status of your athletic department. I'm not at all well enough versed in it to be able to argue the point with you, but it just seems to me that but the kids are getting educated, and most of them are on scholarships and things like that. So their books. I mean, I've seen it. They come in, they go into the bookstore, and I'm over here shelling out my parents $300 or $400 for textbooks for the semester. When these guys, and 300-pound William Perry comes walking in and, you know, waves his hand, and he gets a stack of books and walks out, and somebody else gets that bill. But that's the way it always was, and that kind of. But now it's.
But the other side of that argument, even though that's how it's always been, that the student athletes didn't get paid other than the scholarship.
It doesn't make it right.
Right.
I agree with that.
Because just going back, I was just thinking about, like, well, you were just talking about how your business has gone from dot matrix printers to laser printers, so the progression of things.
Sure.
obviously now the money that the institutions are making out of these athletes is far bigger, much larger than there ever has been. So I've heard argument about why they should get paid. So is that not getting paid because of the change you don't want to see, or what is the harm, or what do you think is bad can happen from this?
Well, then it's no longer what I consider to be a level playing field. Now you've got what Texas A&M's got the wealthiest alumni association, or let's just say it this way, they've got the biggest checkbook.
Yeah.
So where do you think all the talent's going to go? They're going to follow the checkbook. So if Texas A&M's out there writing $2 million a player for checks, and Clemson's maybe 10,000, well then some really hot kid coming out of high school is going to go in the direction of the money.
Right.
So Michael,
so it skews everything.
A different way of looking at it. So what is wrong with that? What is wrong with the student going to a college which is going to pay him more money?
You've now bought your team.
Right, but there was never a good, talented student was never going to go to a third grade college because they may not have a good college football program like Clemson does. So Clemson did have that advantage of targeting that student. If someone else has more money to target that student, what's wrong with that?
You're saying it's just the capitalist system at work in the college arena.
Yeah. Whoever has the best resources gets the best player, I guess.
Right.
So that might make the other colleges bring up their standard of resources to attract those students.
And that's a good point. And I said early on, I'm not capable of arguing the pros and cons of both. It's just as I see it. But you make a good point, and I think probably the only way I could answer that is it's a wait and see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know. It's too early in the game to see how this is going to improve or destroy college football. What I fear is that college football is going to become a mini or an NFL junior type arrangement. Then you got the kneeling and the refusing to sing the national anthem, or which is that's to each his own. But I hate to see that. That's just an element that I just would prefer to stay on the pro level where I don't have to watch it.
Gotcha.
If you're a trucker and you own a truck that weighs 55,000 pounds or more, we're here to let you know that it's time to file your Form 2290 again. Thankfully, Express Truck Tax is here to make e-filing easy with a free VIN checker, a scan for common errors, and 100% US-based customer support. So go to expresstrucktax.com now to file your 2022-23 Form 2290.
Served up
Cheers.
Brown Clown.
Cheers.
We've got the Buffalo Trace here.
Why is young Caleb has a small glass?
Because I couldn't find the other full-size glass. I don't know.
What are we drinking today?
We got a Buffalo Trace bottle here.
Nice.
Very good, very good.
I just did a tally of my bourbon collection. I got 8 bottles of Buffalo Trace.
Whoa.
I had somebody tell me about Buffalo Trace that, like in Rock Hill, you won't be able to find it,
Right.
because it's allocations in this area. Mm-hmm. But you can go to Florence, and it's bottles deep
Really?
on the shelves. It's the areas they allot X number to this region, and then
Yeah, Aggie's got his own system for
Yeah,
picking
I
up
do.
bottles.
I'm not going to disclose my
Yeah,
system.
it's
I was
great.
like,
He
we-
follows the trucks around. And
we're not going to talk about that.
I actually have 9 bottles of Blanton's right now, but I don't have the full set.
Goodness.
I don't have the full set. I'm missing the 2A. I'll get it. I'll find it.
Find it. He's
There
on
is
the
no
hunt.
doubt in my mind that you will. Aggie's one of those where he sets his mind to it. You might as well just go ahead and get out of the way.
So tell us your connection with DocSim. I know Tim with LPP is retiring. How's your business changes or your partnership changed with DocSim? Is a much larger, I guess, corporation compared to LPP.
It's just if anything, it's just opened up more doors, just more capacity, which is for me huge. To be able to do, the kind of work that we do with Span and that kind of thing. It becomes, a Toyota Camry versus a Porsche. You're still going to get there, but you just have this extra high-end capacity. You can move on down the street a little quicker with what you got to do. If before you were saying, okay, we'll do 1 million documents, and that's all fine and good, but now in the same length of time, I can run 6 million.
Gotcha.
But how does your relationship change? Because with LPP, you are dealing with the owner Tim, I guess on a one-on-one personal basis. Now, is that going to be different for you to operate your business dealing with a much larger corporation? Or
No, because I won't see that.
Okay.
It's just there's more fingers in the pie, but I don't see that. What it affords me is what I can take to the client, which is more horsepower.
I was just going to ask what DocSim and LPP are. I don't know.
Data processing.
For me and for listeners. No,
it's just data processing facility.
Okay.
So LPP was it a family-owned business? Is that correct? They had 2 facilities. DocSim is like more of a corporation, multiple printing facilities, they can handle more volume. So DocSim purchased LPP, and the gentleman who was to own, he's still working as part of this deal, but he's going to retire soon. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So talking about that, when is your retirement then, Chuck?
My bills indicate that I won't be retiring anytime soon. Keeping in mind I have a child in college right now, and so that's going to be that's going to keep my foot to the pedal for the foreseeable future. Cheers. Charles, yours is coming.
Yeah,
you better be circling the wagons, my friend.
We don't want you to retire anytime soon. We need you, Chuck.
Yes, that's true. Because of the importance of relationships. That's right. That's sort of the focus of overall.
Segue, Charles. Yes. Wow, he's on his A game.
We're getting better at this.
This Buffalo Trace is really bringing it out in him.
We're bringing it out. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the whole reason that we even know you at all is because of relationships. You know, I mean, like just having that chance encounter, bidding on the same project as competitors. Meanwhile, we stayed open to the idea. You stayed open to the idea. I think you were showing up at our office right after it, just like, hey, checking these guys out. Like,
very much unannounced.
You were both sort of friendly and also probably scoping out the competition.
Charles came and opened the door and cracked it a little bit and said, "Can I help you?"
Which office was this?
No, we're good. Thanks.
This was downtown.
Yeah, 202.
Okay.
202. Cool.
But then after doing that 2 or 3 times, he actually allowed me to step through the threshold of the front door and actually enjoy some of the air conditioning while I spoke.
You never knew who would walk by.
No, it's been good. Yeah. We enjoy working with you, Chuck. I know we joke about stuff, but we enjoy working with you. Otherwise,
feelings mutual.
We don't continue any business with people we don't like. So.
I just, for me, it's just such a breath of fresh air to deal with just good people.
Right.
There's no having to figure out personalities and, what are good days and what are bad days. It's just good, even keel, pleasant, normal people.
Right.
It's something nice sales, about it.
No, one thing I've been very particular about is finding local businesses to do business with, even though in the long run it may cost a little bit more money, but having that relationship, knowing them, just giving them a call or going for lunch with them, from our insurance to our legal team to all the stuff, we made sure we just go find local partners who've been good to us, and we've been good clients to them, from our accounting to bookkeeping to everything we've done very local as much as possible. It's been good. It's been fun. I enjoy. Yeah. I mean,
there's certain
time to time we
can't.
throw in some harassment here and there, a couple of jokes here and there. But after they leave the office, we may imitate them for a bit.
That's the fun. That's the only reason. That's the only reason you do it.
That's exactly.
I shudder at the thought, but yeah.
No. And you can't always do that. I mean, you can't outsource. You can't find a local email provider or something like that. But for so many different services, you can do that, and that is really nice to have.
But the city that you grew up in is against doing business locally. I'm saying that from a personal experience, and still with the
Tallahassee? What are you talking about?
City of Rock Hill.
City of Rock Hill. Yeah. That's true. I mean, you and we went to bid on that project at York County. We were the only 2 local providers not even considered.
Yep.
Not even
There
considered.
you have it.
Went to whoever
So,
random company.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about this. This was, what year was it, Charles? 2017, maybe?
I'm not sure.
The ACA one?
Oh, gotcha.
2017, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking to, this company had reached out to us wanting to use our software. And so we kind of had the initial discussion, and they said, we're going to bring in all our directors and managers for a meeting, Zoom meeting, to get to know you guys more before we use your services. I said, sure. So they had like about 8 or 9 people from all over the country and some from Canada. We were on the call talking to them, and suddenly one of the director goes, Rock Hill. I said, yes. He goes, it's interesting. One of our large client is 2 doors down from you. I'm thinking, who the hell is 2 doors down from us on Main Street, which has over 100 employees? I couldn't think of it. And I said, who? 2 doors down from is a record store. There's like nobody there. The other 2 side is a gift shop. And the guy goes, the City of Rock Hill. I said, oh, wow, that's pretty awesome. City of Rock Hill uses their services, but they don't have the technology. They use third-party technology like ours to do the work for them. So we were excited. Okay, great. And they said, okay, great. Everything was good. We're going to take this information to our clients, propose to them, and then if everybody's on board, we'll sign with you guys and we'll move forward. I said, okay. 2 days later, I get a call from them saying, everybody's on board except your city. Your city is not going to sign off on this until they come and see you. Visit our office. I said, that's fine, whatever. They have like cities from Trent, New Jersey, one of the largest cities in New Jersey, their clients. All of them signed off. But the city that you are actually based in, that you've been doing business there for the last 7 years.
That you've been paying taxes to.
For 7 years you've been there. The largest employer on that main street, nope, they want to have a visit. So, okay, whatever. Their IT guy turns up. That idiot has no freaking clue what he's on about. He wanted to see the server room. I said, dude, we don't have a server room. We don't have a server room. He couldn't get the concept in his head. We don't have a server room. I said, we use Amazon Web Services. We use Oracle. Everything is on the cloud. And he was the main IT guy for the City of Rock Hill. He could not get that in his head. And we were going back and forth. And I finally said, dude, I don't have one. I'm not hiding it from you. We don't have a server room here. Yeah. End of story. He wanted to see my all kinds of identification. I finally told him, dude, I'm not going to do any of this bullshit. Just get the hell out of here. If I don't get this contract, that's fine. But this is an absolute disgrace and disrespect what you guys are doing to a business that's locally based 2 doors down from you. I was so mad at it. Anyway, so that company said, well, they're not going to sign up, but we'll go ahead and sign up. They signed up. We provided the services.
Yeah, but provide them for everybody else.
The only client of theirs who put us through the ringer, and actually we ended up canceling that contract. We couldn't go to the next year. It's because of
was your hometown.
Yep,
unbelievable.
Wow.
And that was the starting of us wanting to move out of downtown. And it took us a couple of years to finally move, but it was an absolute disgrace. It was an embarrassment to deal with the people who run the city office to what they put through. We had to mail those recipient copies. So we took everything was printed. We took it to the post office, mailed it before 5 p.m. timeline. They wanted us to take a picture of us in the post office showing there was a proof that we mailed and sent it to them. That's what they did. That was a disgrace. But anyway, I'm not there anymore. We're very happy with our new office where we are.
Well, there's an old saying, sometimes you have to fire the customer.
Mm-hmm. Knowing when to walk away.
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
Fire the customer. It just not worth it.
We're gone. We've been very happy with the new place, and we've just have triple-digit growth year after year from the time we moved. We are very happy with it.
Beautiful office, by the way. Beautiful. I thought downtown was going to be hard to surpass, but you've done it.
No, we're very happy with where we are. Trust me. Anyway, that was my rant for the day.
Very good.
So, Chuck, what do you do in your free time then, Chuck?
I like to hunt. Fish.
Oh, okay. Talk to us about that. I don't think any of us here, unless Caleb, I don't know about you. Are you a hunter?
No.
Okay. Well, give us some background story to that, please.
I grew up hunting and fishing, and
so what do you hunt?
Mostly birds, quail, duck, dove. I'm not much of a big game hunter. To me, the actions not as constant.
Yeah.
So
You're just waiting.
Ask me to go deer hunting. I'll usually respond with "I've already been." But
let's talk about what is the season now? Like, what kind of hunting season?
Well, here at the beginning of September will be dove season.
So I'm sort of familiar with how like deer hunting works in stands and sitting in the woods, but bird hunting is not something I know. I don't think I know anybody who does that. So
you typically would. I mean, I guess you say you have a stand, but it's usually on the edge of a cornfield, soybean field, something like that. Sunflower, something that's been recently combined, something that's going to leave some residue behind that the birds would come into, and you basically just sit there and hang out and just your head on a swivel, and you just looking around to see what's coming across the field. And there's certain times in the mornings and in the evenings, typically is when the birds are either coming in to eat or
So where do you go? Like, do you do that in Rock Hill or you go somewhere else?
It's wherever I get invited to go, wherever we have York or down in Columbia, Orangeburg. I've been all over the place.
So is it like an all day thing?
It can be, but it's typically not. You're either getting up early in the morning or you're going for the evening hunt, and you're limited by a limit of birds that you're allowed to harvest.
Oh, so you get the license and stuff.
Yeah, you have to have a license, and once you reach your limit, then you basically tap out.
What is like a limit for what the season is coming up
for
now?
doves? 15.
15
per day, or like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What kind of gun are you using?
A shotgun.
Shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do? Do you eat it? Do you like bring the birds home?
Yeah. Eat it, clean them, and eat them.
Do you have a dog, a hunting dog?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
No, I retrieve my own birds.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So I guess you wouldn't do that over open water. I'm picturing like a dog.
That's duck hunting.
Duck hunting. Yeah.
Yeah. Now over water, you, it depends. But it's nice to have a dog.
Yeah.
But if not, then you've got to be in water that you can
wade through.
So
that you can wade through.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. So I live, on Lake Wiley here. Then I'm not an outdoorsy guy, but since moving to the lake, I know a lot more about birds and all kinds of stuff because it's like everything happening all day long there.
Yeah.
So there's a duck and three little, they call them what, ducklings?
Ducklings.
Yeah. They're little babies. Now we see them every day. Now they're like much larger and they're swimming faster. Is that who you go and hunt? No, seriously. I'm asking.
It's the type of bird. Those probably mallards, but yeah.
Huh.
I mean, right now it's not duck season for that very reason. This is a time where they're multiplying, and this is not a time that you would hunt. Now you get into the winter time, everything's fully grown. Now it might be a yearling, but it might be several years old. And
how about those f***ing geese? Why is someone not like eliminating that from my front yard?
Well, you can apply for a nuisance permit, and then you can go out there and you can learn all the finer aspects of shooting a shotgun.
I have shotgun. I got all the ammo I need. I got all the tools,
but we just need to set up a time.
So there's something called a nuisance permit?
Yes, sir.
So you can get a permit because you have annoying geese in your neighborhood?
For whatever. It can be geese, geese and deer.
Oh my God, we get like a whole family of deer comes through, but we can't touch them. Oh, my wife will kill me. They love watching them come through every evening.
Well, people do that that they've got a garden in their backyard,
sure.
And the deer come through and just rape their whole garden, and it makes them mad, and they've spent all this time. So
right, that has already happened.
You can either fence it off, or you can take matters into your own hands.
2 months ago, early morning, like 7 o'clock, we saw this little thing. There's a small, tiny little thing was laying in our front yard. So it was like, what the hell is that? So we walked down to look. It was fawn. The deer. It was so small, just like laying there, and I guess the mother, her deer, had gone to. So we were not sure what the hell we were supposed to do. So I called a couple of my friends who are who know about they're into hunting and stuff. They all said
do nothing.
Yeah, just leave it there. But then the sun was coming, and my wife was like, "Oh my God, it's gonna be hot. Should I go put an umbrella on it?" I said, "Just leave it." No. Everyone said, "Leave it alone." So about 3 hours later, and we just watched and watched and watched. And about 3 hours later, the mama deer just came, not even close, about 20 feet from it. and this thing just jumped up and took off running behind. Now we see the same tiny little one come by every evening. It's grown to be a much bigger one. That was pretty interesting. So I've got to learn all this stuff living on the lake there.
It's innate. When they're born, they get as flat as they can on the ground, no movement, and that's for predators.
Preservation.
Yeah, the predators will pick up on it, and they're also, which I didn't know this, they're born free of scent. So a predator can't smell them, but they do exactly what you just described. They'll wait until that mother comes and calls, or he makes eye contact, and then but that mother's not far off. Be clear. If he's out in the yard, that mother's close by.
Yeah.
But she's not there because she does have scent, and that brings in the predator. So she moves off, and that's just
and looks is going to get food, right?
Yeah,
I had the judge ready to go in case some animal came in. You know what's the judge?
The peacemaker.
I had it ready to go.
So I am not a hunter, but I have unintentionally killed a deer at one point. So my parents
with a car?
So my parents, well, that's I guess the first thing you would go to. My parents live on a decent amount of land, and they have a big open field in front of their house with grass that grows up in it. They have to mow it with a tractor with a bush hog thing behind it. I was just going around, you can't see anything in the grass, and at one point I went around and came around another time, and in the lane where I had just gone was just a little baby deer sitting there. It didn't do anything to it.
Oh, it didn't?
No, I did run it over, but that was unfortunate. Like you're describing, dead baby in the grass there. It was unfortunate.
What a bummer, Caleb. What a
Wow,
bummer of a
deer slayer.
Deer slayer.
I'm always going to think of you as a murderer. So when a dead fish washes, I have a nice beach there, and when the dead fish, like big catfish or whatever, just washes ashore, even before it comes to the beach, all those turkey vultures, man, I don't know how it happens. They're like, the fish is, you can see about 20 feet, still in the water, right? Coming in slowly, the waves are bringing them in, and they already ready to go. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. Like
Nature's cleaning crew.
Oh my God. And then they just eat the hell out of it, and they fight and whatever.
And this is interesting. That is a federal law that you cannot shoot a buzzard. Those are federally
because of the work
protected
they're
birds.
doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They come in like 20, 30 of them. Boom. They come in and land.
They make short work of it too.
Yeah. They clean the whole thing up. They just leave the bones. And so since we talked about this last time, maybe a couple of weeks ago now, that you ended up buying a big boat. What kind of boat did you get?
I can talk about what I aspire to have, but again, I'm still paying Clemson University right now, so I have to keep my priorities in order.
Chuck, you need to come over one day. Let's come over one weekend. We'll take the boat out. We'll go drink some bourbon or Miller Lite, whatever you want to drink, and we'll just hang out on the lake. Huh? No, I'm not shooting no duck. I've seen those little ducklings like from a tiny little thing grow up. I'm not going to shoot any of that stuff.
Well, you're backing me in the corner on what kind of boat I want. What kind of boat do you have? Because all I can speak about is what I want.
I can't talk about that stuff yet.
Come on,
that'll
Maggie.
Draw like unwanted attention.
You in between boats? He's in between boats.
I got to go to No, yeah, that'll draw unwanted attention, so I want to lay low.
It's a rowboat. He's got
I got a John boat.
He's got a John boat.
A 5 horsepower motor on it.
Nice. Aspire to get a 15 horsepower. Twin 5s on it.
Right on. Have you ever been arrested?
Sure. Have you not?
I've never been arrested, but I've been in a cop car a couple of times in Mexico where I'd pay them off. I give them money to take me somewhere if I can't get a cab, and that has happened quite a few times.
Really?
Yeah. Remember, I used to work on cruise ships, so I'm like suddenly on the other side of the island or somewhere far away because I'm hanging out with people, and we could take a cab and go somewhere else, eat and drink and whatever. Next thing you know, I got to get back. I got like an hour left, and there's no cabs here, so I'll just walk.
So you commit a crime and then they come and they pick you up?
No crime.
Pay off a
I
cop.
just walk up to a cop car. I'd give them like $20 or $40 or whatever, and tell them, can you take me back to the ship? And then they will take me. I'll just sit in the back seat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's never been just me. It's always been a couple of people. So we'll just sit in the back seat, smoke. I used to smoke a cigarette, and they'll just drive me back to the port.
How about that? That's good to know.
The maximum I paid is $60.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It was before Uber, so
That is true. That is before Uber time.
You had to actually go out and talk to a police officer.
Yeah, give them a cigarette. Hey, it's good times. Good times. Good times. Yeah, we've done that. So you've never been arrested. That's good to know. Because I know people here from Rock Hill who are originally from Rock Hill. They've been drug dealers. They've been arrested.
Oh, jeez.
And all kinds of stuff. But now we talk to them, and they're good business people. and then they tell you the story after a few drinks. You go, what the man? What did I just learn today? Anything else you want to talk about, Chuck?
No, this has been fabulous. A great group of people here to sit and have a bourbon drink with on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm not used to drinking on the clock, I got to tell you. I think it agrees with me.
No, it was a lot of fun. We enjoy working with you, Chuck. I know I make stupid jokes from time to time, but we really do enjoy doing business with you. So
I would think something was wrong if I didn't get jazzed from you at least every other time I see you. I know when that stops, there's something brewing.
I think we're up to 8 on the counts of the phrases there.
You missed the last one, jazz.
Jazz it up. Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
We'll add some little dings in the episode.
That's right. Something tells me I'm going to get abused after I walk out of here.
Thanks
Chuck. For joining. Stick around next week.
Bandit Room is a production of Span Enterprises, located in sunny Rock Hill, South Carolina. We've been developing, supporting, and growing successful IRS e-filing and business management solutions since 2010. Go to spanenterprises.com now to learn more. The views and opinions expressed in the Bandit Room are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect or state the opinions of Span Enterprises. No information should be considered as tax, legal, or other professional advice.